Okay, today we're going to change the blinds. So it's the screens and the blinds in our old windows. So we're, 2.5 years on the road now, full time, and we've done an awful lot of dusty roads, dirt roads. And these things have just got brittle in the sunshine and full of dust, and they're really hard to move. So this is what they sound like now. That's the good one. We've just done the bad one. So this screen is not too bad. The other thing is trying to clean them. We just haven't found a way that you can effectively clean them. We've tried dusting them, we've tried using microfiber cloths. Somebody said to get a water spray and a garden blower, and you spray it and use the garden blower at the same time to blow the water out.
But that's not so bad, it's the bottom bit.
There's no way you can clean the bottom one. They're just a paper element, really. You just can't clean them. I don't know if you can see that, at least you can sort of see the dirt and the dust that's on them. We just don't know if you can clean them. But anyway, they've lasted 2.5 years. So I bought the replacements from Ranger Caravan Supplies over in Victoria. They were roughly about $250 each. So we're going to do the 2 bedroom windows and the window at the back of the kitchen as well, which is also really grotty. We'll swap them out. So we'll see how we go. Hopefully it's not that difficult. Rightio, we've got all the screw plugs out, so now it's just a matter of taking out the screws. There's 16 screws in each window. They're good quality Chinese screws, so we have to be really gentle and try not to strip the heads of the screws, because that will be a real pain in the butt if we do that. So we'll go nice and easily and see if we can get these screws out without too many heartaches. Nice and gentle. That's one. So I'm just worried about stripping these screws, so I'm just going to actually loosen them all by hand first so I can control the amount of power on them, and then once they're loosened I'll use the drill to wind them out. But just go nice and steady, do the first bit by hand just to make sure we don't strip any heads.
And you might be looking at Andrew's band-aids and patches on him. I haven't beaten him up.
Well, she has beaten me up quite regularly. But no, just been in to get my my biannual skin check, and I've got a few cancers. Unfortunately, I've had a long history of working in the sun and prone to a few skin cancers nowadays. So if you're out there traveling around and outside all the time, get your skin checks done, especially if you're around our age, that 60 age bracket. That's when they start to manifest themselves. Rightio, so you can see here a couple of these screws, they pulled the spacers out, so the screws didn't come out of the spacer. It's just wound the spacer out from the external frame. See, this one here's one of them, and this is another one. So it's pretty easy. You just put a spanner on the outside, screwdriver on the other side, and just take them apart, and then you can just screw the spacers straight back in. But just be very careful when you're doing that, because some of them will come out with the spacers, and it does twist the frame, which jams the screws up and the rest of them. So go nice and steady, bit by bit, and work your way around. And yeah, just be aware that sometimes they don't just come out cleanly. You need to do a bit of work on them. So these are these spacers. They're simply, once you get the screws out of them, just wind them back into the frame again, which is pretty easy. Once again, just go nice and gentle. Don't over tighten them, whatever you do. Here's the new windows from Ranger Caravan Supplies. If you're dealing with Ranger, just a word of warning, you need to be persistent. They're not the greatest communicators. So we've got the old one out. I'm really hoping that it's the same size as the new one. Yeah, looks good. Looks good. So we'll just unpack these, and we can start and install them. Okay. So the windows are the right size, which I'm very happy about. But so far, so good. As long as the holes line up, we're on a winner. So we'll see if we can just get this up, put a screw in it and hold it in place, and then go from there. When you put them in, don't forget you need the blind at the top and the screen at the bottom. So we'll just get all the screws in with a screwdriver to start with, just so we can be nice and gentle. And then once we've got all the screws in place, I'll use the screwdriver just to torque them up, but it wants to be at a nice nice gentle setting, because you don't want to be cracking the plastic or anything. So
The drill.
the drill, when you're doing it with the drill, that's right. So I guess you could do them all by hand anyway. At least you've got a bit more control by hand, I suppose. Might just do that. At least you can go nice and gentle. Don't want to be stripping any heads off screws or anything like that. So we'll just torque all these up a little bit. Right. Beautiful. Wow. Okay, 2 down, 1 to go. So this is the kitchen window. The screen's not so bad on the kitchen window. The problem with this one, besides it being very crusty to do, is the fact that it's just, you just can't clean it. It's got, I guess it's cooking oil spray and dirt and stuff like that. So it's just really grotty. And yeah, the screen's quite brittle as well. So it has to get replaced as well. So that's the third one that we'll tackle. So as I mentioned, the spaces, a lot of the spaces came out of this window frame with the screws, probably over half of them. So just got to gently put these all back again. Looks like there was probably a little bit of Loctite used on these screws, and that's why the screws didn't come out of the spaces easily, but the spaces came out of the frame. So you just got to go really gently and just slowly work your way around the frame and just pull the frame away from the window. If you go too hard, you're going to crack the frame. So just take it nice and easy. Get the spaces out a little bit at a time, and you should be fine. No, that'd be right. Rightio, just get these in. Okay, so lucky last. Here's the last frame. Just make sure we got the screen at the top, which we have. Okay, I'll get this in here. Get a screw in it. Okay, that's going to hold it. Get the rest of these screws in and the job's almost done. So we thought, while we're in the mood, we might as well drop this centre skylight out as well, because you can see the fly screen here is really red and dusty. So the only way that we know how to clean this one again is take the whole lot out, and then you can put a hose on it, protect the paper bit with a bit of towel, and give it a hose. So these are the diffusers from where the LEDs are. They simply pop out. Just give them a gentle squeeze, and you can pop them out all the way around. And then there's just a few screws, so drop the screws out. Should be able to take the hatch down. Just disconnect the wire, because it's got 12 volt going to it for the lighting. Just disconnect the plug somewhere. Can't remember exactly where it is. And then we'll take it outside and give it a hose. I remember last time we did this, I actually cut the wires and then put a couple of spade fittings on to make it easy to disconnect it the next time. And so what I did, I put the male on one side, female on the other side, so I can't get it wrong when I wire it back up again. So you might have to do that when you drop those out. It's pretty simple though. As long as you've got the right tools, that's always the problem. So here's the unit here now. Looking pretty dusty, reflecting pretty much where the van's been, and a lot of debris sitting on the top there that you can't get to, of course, when the thing's up in the roof. All right, we'll give this a dust off, and then we'll put the hose on the screen bit and try and get the dirt out of the screen. So here we go. We've got the skylight on a table out here. Lisa's very nervous about this. So we'll just use the banister brush, hun, and just give it a light rub with the banister brush. So we've given it a quick hose, and a huge amount of dirt came out of it. Now we'll just give it a really light scrub with some detergent and the banister brush. Try and remove some of that dirt. And should be sweet. There's no other way. Once again, if anyone's got any ideas, let us know, because we just can't find any other way to clean these. You can just use a light banister brush and blow it, or a vacuumer, but the screen's so fine it just sort of sucks in it when you try and vacuum it. And blowing it gets rid of a bit of dust, but it just doesn't get rid of the red stain. So this is the only way that we know of how to get rid of that red stain. Just remember the material or the paper screen bit, don't get that wet. Just do the fly screen. don't do the actual shade part. Otherwise you'll be up for a new one. And I'm sure they'll be cheap. So we're done. The 3 windows are replaced. It wasn't too difficult at all. We got them in without too many problems. Oh, they are so smooth compared to the old ones. What a difference. So as I said, about $250 per window, so all up it's cost us about, what's that, $750 to replace them, but what do you do? The other ones were knackered. So, but anyway, it's looking great now, really good. Really happy. And this came up really well as well, so it didn't get all of the red stain out. You can probably see it still looks a little bit red, but it's way better than it was. So we'll just leave it closed up, and hopefully it doesn't sag too much as it dries. But it's getting to be on its last legs as well. We might have to replace that one. See if we can find out if you can just replace the internal bit, not the entire hatch. Don't know. But anyway, that's a great job. One of the many that we've got while we've got the van back here in Perth.